All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So really excited to have you join us today for this Donorbox webinar. My name is Jenna, and I am the nonprofit advocate here at Donorbox, and I'll also be the moderator for this webinar today. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Donorbox, we provide nonprofits with simple and effective tools to manage their online fundraising activities and connect with individual donors on a deeper level. To date, we have helped 50,000 organizations across the globe, as you can see in our chat here, raise over $1 billion. So to learn more, you can visit us on our site at donorbox.org. And today I am so excited to introduce Jessie, our faith-based fundraising advisor, and Kara, our nonprofit evangelist here at Donorbox, to talk about how your faith-based organization can increase holiday donations this year. This is what we all need, right? Now, before I pass the baton over to Jessie and Kara, I have just a couple of housekeeping items. So please note that this webinar will be about an hour long, including a good Q&A at the end. This webinar is being recorded. We've got you covered. And all registrants will receive a copy of the slide deck and the recording via email tomorrow. We'll be launching a couple of helpful links throughout this presentation, and those will pop up in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. All you have to do is click them, and they'll open right up. And please feel free to drop questions in the chat box throughout the presentation. We want this to be interactive. We want to learn more about you and how we can help you. So please drop your comments and questions in the chat box, and I'll be busy behind the scenes marking those so we can answer them at the end. All right, so without further ado, Jessie and Kara, take it away.
Hello. So thank you all very much for joining the call. Thank you, Jenna, for introducing us. My name is Jessie Sanchez. I'm, again, the faith-based fundraising advisor for Donorbox. I've worked here at Donorbox for approximately 3 years. Before that, I've held various roles, I've worked at nonprofits, volunteered at nonprofits, various nonprofits, and also served at various boards. So, love doing the nonprofit work. Also did a lot of work with small businesses. So, huge small business advocate as well. So, I'd love Kara to quickly introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm Kara. I'm new to the Donorbox team, and I serve as a nonprofit evangelist. I've been in nonprofit fundraising and consulting for a number of years and had the opportunity to work with a ton of great nonprofits and ministries. So thanks for having me join the call today.
Very cool. So here, so today what we're going to talk about, what we'll take away during this call is, it's focusing on common bottlenecks that I've seen in fundraising online. So, I work with many nonprofits every single day, and there's some things that I see that we can improve on. So we're going to talk about a couple of things, how to optimize your donation form. So some, kind of good ways to, small little changes that can dramatically increase donations. And lastly here, how faith-based organizations best use Donorbox. So we've actually released a couple of neat features over the past couple of weeks that I'd love to talk to you about. So we'll kind of dive a little deeper on that towards the end of the call. So before we kind of get started, I wanted to, Jenna's going to help us launch a quick poll here asking, how are you currently hosting services and or events? So Jenna, can we launch the poll, please? I think it'll ask you there, and it'll give us an answer here. What we've seen, of course, 2020 was a very crazy year worldwide, and everything switched, to virtual, online, on-demand stuff, and we've recently seen a lot of stuff, kind of transition back. But I've also seen the hybrid approach, so I'm curious here to see what most people are doing here. So lots of hybrid. So yeah. Typically, when we talk to orgs, we see people still starting to do in person again, and perhaps doing an on-demand or a live version of, a gala or an event that they're holding, a fundraiser, a campaign. So pretty cool. Okay. So right now we have about 12 answers. So the far majority here is they're doing the hybrid approach. So very cool. Okay. Very good answers here. So so I want to talk a little bit about here. Kara, can you help us
Yeah, absolutely.
in here and talk about addressing the challenge here?
For sure. So I mentioned that I've had the privilege of working with some amazing nonprofits and ministries over the years. And we all know that most of the year's giving happens in the next couple of weeks. And there are often large Christmas services or some year-end serving opportunities this time of year. And you have some great opportunities to engage your givers and show your impact this season. So let's just spend a minute addressing the challenge of year-end giving. And it can seem daunting, but it doesn't have to be. So some of you may have been planning for months and others are ready to jump in right now. Wherever you are, it's okay. And I have a couple quick examples of where I'd be sure to spend some time in the next couple of weeks. So the first thing I would do is be sure to say thank you. So show your gratitude beyond just your tax receipt. And the more personal thanks, the better. So do you have a few minutes to handwrite a note to your best supporters, or at least give them a call or drop them a personal email? You could put together a quick video to show them their generosity at work. It's easy enough to express gratitude. So use these first couple weeks of this month to personally show your appreciation for how they've partnered with you in the past. So that's one. Number two is to celebrate what God has done. So churches, and I'm not sure how many of you are churches or ministry organizations, so let us know that in the chat, but churches have quite an advantage. So what kind of other organizations have several minutes each week face to face with their biggest supporters? If you have the captive attention of a congregation for a few minutes each week, use it as time to show the impact of your ministry. I'd suggest going deep on one story per week, not giving an exhaustive list of everything you do within your doors, but tell a story of a life change that happened because somebody gave. If you're a nonprofit that doesn't have that captive audience, share a story on email and social media each week. Make sure you go deep and show visuals and a nice story around an area of life change in your organization. And make sure you prominently display your donate button. I've been moved by videos I've seen online and can't find where to give. So make sure that button and link is on each post and email, and don't make your givers dig for how to give when they've been moved by what they've just heard. And so I'll encourage you to do both of those. And then here's my third tip. Keep it focused on your supporters. A lot of organizations and churches fall into talking about we and you, us and you, when you give to us, that kind of thing. So you as the organization or church are partnering together with your givers to do God's work. So take a minute and read through your past letters or newsletters or posts, or go back and watch some past services and listen to see if you're doing that well. So instead of when you give to us, maybe it's something together we do this. So those are my 3 tips for kind of overcoming, this daunting task before us. And I will also say one last bit. So we know most of the giving happens in the next couple of weeks for sure. But we see that so much of that it happens in the last couple days of the month in the year, which may not necessarily coincide with when your donors are there with you in person, when your doors are open, or it may not coincide with when you're serving. So make sure that you're making giving easy for your community, whether you're gathering in person or online, like you said, maybe a hybrid approach. You need to make sure you're meeting your donors where they are and offering different ways to give. So those are my really quick tips on addressing the challenges ahead of you. And Jesse's going to take it from here and kind of talk about some tactical examples of ways you can use Donorbox to make those things happen.
Thank you, Kara. Yeah, those are some great points, Kara. I recently received a postcard myself, and it was personalized from a nonprofit Christian radio station that I support, and I loved it. And I mean, personalization is everything. And with Donorbox, I know you can easily. I know you also mentioned, reaching out to your top supporters. With Donorbox when they're on the dashboard on the back end, it's really easy to pull these reports and see who your top supporters are. So. Very, very good points. Thank you so much. Yeah. So some common bottlenecks that we see here is, the first thing is, does it take more than one click, like Kara mentioned, to land on your donation page? So I've seen several examples or several nonprofits that, it has a donate button, and then from the donate button, it takes them to their donation page, and then it takes them to that's not the page where you donate. It'll say, donate with card or PayPal, and it's two different links. And then it takes you to another third party, PayPal page or just another donation page. We want to make that very simple. So that's one common bottleneck that I see. The second one is, are you asking donors for their information every single time? How can we make the conversion process a lot quicker? And a lot more seamless. So how can we make that process a lot seamless? So I'm going to talk a little bit about some tools that we just introduced these past couple of weeks. The third thing here is, does your donor have to enter their card information every time they donate? So we launched some cool tools. One is called Quick Donate, where you can, where the donor can have their own profile and make their donation very quickly. So we'll talk about that as well. Feel free to ask any questions during this call, and I'd love to answer any questions. Kara, Jenna also are here to answer any questions. So let's talk about optimizing your donation form. So when we talk about optimization, I'm talking about, how can we make the process from step one of the Donorbox form to the last step? How can we make that step a lot more cleaner, more seamless for the donor? So you can imagine donors, now donate with their mobile device. It's a spur of a moment. It's maybe an emotional time where they want to say, hey, I really care about this nonprofit, this faith-based organization. I want to donate now. How can we make that process a lot quicker, more optimized? So the first thing we're going to talk about is how can we make it to where a donor clicks one time before they can make their donation? I'm going to share my screen here very quickly, and I'm going to show you two examples that I pulled of just a very fast and easy way to donate. So let me share my screen here. Okay, yes, and I'm going to share my screen here. So the first organization that I pulled up here is the Chicago French Bulldog Rescue Group. So this is an organization I work with, very good nonprofit. As you can see here, this is their main page. If we click on the word donate, it'll take us to their donation page. So this is a Donorbox landing page. As you can see, this is a very nice and clean form. Donate $25. We're only asking for the minimum required fields, which is first name, last name, email. And they also wanted to ask for a phone number. So we'll enter the phone number and the payment step, and it's done. So donor enters their payment information, chooses what payment method they like, click on donate, and the process is done. So what I really liked about this one is just, one click and you're here to the donation form. Very quick and easy. The second example I want to share is Pastor Robert Morris's website. So this is their website, and as you can see here, we have a give. One of the tabs here is give. So if we click on the word give, you'll see that our donation form pops up. So maybe you don't want to do a landing page, or maybe you don't want to do an embedded form. This is another quick way to ask donors to give. So you can have it set up to where it clicks on a picture or clicks on a word and the Donorbox form pops up. Like Kara mentioned, you want to have this give, in various places. So in email newsletters, in social media posts, if you want to, on different sections of your website, on different stories of impact that you're doing, you want to have one of these forms one click away to be able to donate. So this is, a very nice, clean form. They're asking for additional fields. They're asking also for an address, phone number is required, and payment, and it's done. So this is what we call a Donorbox pop-up form. Very easy way to for your donors to donate. So so the main thing here is we want to get donors, one click and it's done. So I'm going to go back here to the slides. Stop sharing here. Okie dokie. So let's see here. Let me click out of this little box here. Okay, perfect. So make your call to action easy to find. So this is the second thing here, besides the one click, is sometimes the give is not like easily found. So whenever you're on your website, make sure, like on this example here, that your call to action to donate is very easy to find in multiple places. Sometimes when you're on your mobile device, these tabs get they're shrunk down into like a table to search. You click on it and it'll have all the options. Some people might not find it very easily. So consider putting it on various sections of your website. As you can see here, they're using the Donorbox donate button. That's also available to you. You can actually also change the color and the text. So, consider using that as well. The main goal here is making it super, super easy for your donors to find where to donate. So another common bottleneck that I see very, all the time is people consider using a donation form where you collect only the necessary information that you need. So the beautiful thing about Donorbox is you're able to collect different data points. So you can ask, for an address, you can ask for phone number, you can ask for employment information, you can ask custom questions, you can ask donors to subscribe to your mailing list, but all that may not be necessary for a certain campaign that you're running. So like one thing that I see is like the address field. So if you're not necessarily going to send them a mail piece, or you don't plan on sending them, anything throughout mail. A lot of organizations do everything virtually now. Everything's through email. Consider not collecting that data point, because it just takes the donation process a lot longer, for the donor. So if they're on their mobile device, you can imagine they're going to have to click through and enter the information. If it's not really necessary, consider not asking for that info. Phone number, same thing. If you don't ever plan on calling them, you may not need it. Or maybe you're running a special campaign where these donors. You're sending this list to a list of donors for a golf tournament or something like that. You already know who these people are. Maybe, hey, let's just keep it very simple. Let's just ask for first name, last name, and email, which are the required fields, so they can proceed to the third step of the donation form. So, only ask what you need. If you need to collect an address, by all means, collect the address, ask a custom question, but keep it as, minimal to increase your conversion rate. So the next slide here we're going to talk about is taking advantage of Stripe and PayPal's payment methods. So Stripe and PayPal are supported payment processors that Donorbox uses. They're actually both great processors. We highly recommend Stripe because Stripe enables you to have accept debit card, credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay. We also accept other payment methods in various countries. I know here in the US, we accept like ACH bank transfers with Stripe. There's other countries that have different payment methods that Stripe allows us to use. Also, PayPal. PayPal's a great payment method. We just actually introduced Venmo support through PayPal. So you would need to turn on PayPal checkout, which was called PayPal Express back in the day. So if you're using PayPal right now, you can go to your payment methods section on your Donorbox dashboard. So log into Donorbox, click on account, then payment methods, and you can upgrade so you can have Venmo support. So I'm going to quickly show you how that looks. Let me share my screen, and I'm going to share an example that I saw here of an organization already using it. So this is an organization called For the Love of Alex. They're a great org. They help out pets in need. So this is their donation form. So say we donate here. As you can see here, they have the card option, they have the PayPal option, and they also have the bank transfer option. They're a US based organization, but I wanted to show you the Venmo support. So Venmo's pretty popular here in the US. If we click on PayPal, before this new upgrade, you're only able to pay with PayPal, but now you have Venmo support, you have a pay later support, or you can do debit or credit card. But this is more than likely, if a donor is going to pay with a debit or credit card, they're just going to do it here on this card section. So, so wherever you're at, just make sure you utilize the payment methods that are available to you. Give the donors, all the options, because they're going to donate with what most feels more convenient for them. So you want to give them that convenience. If card is available, they also have Apple Pay and Google Pay support. So if that's set up on their mobile device or on their laptop, you'll see a little button there where a donor will just click on it, confirm it, and it's done. They don't have to enter their card info or anything like that. So I see orgs using just PayPal sometimes, or some orgs just use Stripe. I say use as many as you can. You use both of them. So if you did not know, we also give you the option to ask donors to cover processing fees. Some organizations don't have this. They're not aware of this, but whenever you build your campaign, one of the options is to ask donors to cover the processing fees. And we do see a large percentage of donors clicking on this box for you. So that's really nice. So I'm going to go back here to the slides. I'm going to stop sharing here. Okie dokie. So when Donorbox was first founded, one of the main things that we wanted, one of our core things that we wanted to help organizations do is increase recurring donors. So we spent a lot of time and energy and engineering resources and thinking about how can we help organizations increase recurring giving. So we have some really cool technology behind a recurring gifts, recurring donations feature. So a couple of suggestions for you here today is if you're not utilizing this recommended interval selector, I would go back to your campaign that you have and go under the donation interval section, and you can add a recommended interval, which you can see here. It's selected under monthly. It'll add a little heart. So what happens there is the donor's eye will actually naturally, fixate to that option. So, it presents them, hey, this organization, prefers, or would like a monthly gift. So that's one thing you can do. You can also add a call to action message. As you can see here, they wrote, your monthly donation will help us achieve our goal faster. You can add whatever you'd like, but it's just helping you increase recurring donations. So a couple other cool technologies is whenever a donor donates recurringly, they'll have an account assigned to them where they can log in and they can edit the recurring gift at any time. We also help you by sending friendly reminders to the donor if that transaction were to fail because of insufficient funds or maybe the bank account closed. We'll send friendly reminders to retain that recurring donation. And also, if at any point in time you need to go in and log in to edit this recurring plan, you can also log in and make that recurring. You can edit that recurring plan for the donor. So meeting your donors where they are. So we're gonna launch another quick poll. So these are some cool new features we just released. So the question is, are you currently offering QR codes or text to give as a way for your donors to give? So we just launched these new features, and I'd love to talk a little bit about them. So not yet, okay. Some people in the past, and then we do have some yeses. Okay. So the majority have not used QR codes or text to give. It's pretty cool. Okay. I'd love to talk about that today. So we have 15 answers so far. Okay. So yeah, so a majority of people have not used these features to help them fundraise. So let's talk a little bit about these new features Donorbox has launched. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about mobile giving. So during a service or a campaign, we have this new technology called QR codes. So I've seen it implemented in pamphlets. So whenever you walk into a service or an event or some type of campaign, a lot of people give pamphlets. So QR codes are good for pamphlets, handouts, giving envelopes, maybe a giving section of the website. And what we've seen more or less, since QR codes it's for mobile devices, we do see that about 28% of donors donate on a mobile device, and that's a number that's just going to keep on increasing. So it's very important that you give your donor a very, very easy way to land on that donation page and be able to make that donation as fast as they can. So if you're not aware, Donorbox recently introduced this QR code feature. If you log into Donorbox under dashboard, under your campaign section, every campaign that you create automatically has a QR code that you can download and insert into, like we mentioned, those pamphlets, handouts, maybe on the projector screen. And these are at no additional cost. And it's just a very fast way. So if you're not familiar with how a QR code works, it's basically this little square here that a person will use their mobile device, open their camera app, and point their camera towards that QR code, and it'll give you a link where the person will click, and it'll take them straight to a website in this case. So it'll take them to this campaign page. This was a very nice little example that our founder of Donorbox received from an organization. So basically, kind of a thank you postcard, and it included this QR code here where we can make a donation. So this is just one example of how a QR code can be implemented, but I've seen it in various ways. So like at a giving station, at my local church, we have a giving station where you can drop an envelope in, and it has, if you want to give online, visit our website. If you want to do text to give, or you want to use a QR code, it'll give you those different options. So QR codes is very new to Donorbox, and we've seen it to be a very popular and easy way to fundraise online. Text to give is also a brand new feature that Donorbox just recently released. It's available here in the US and Canada. And of course, everybody has a cell phone now. It's very convenient. Most people know how to text. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how this works here. So with our text to give feature, you first create a campaign for your fundraising project, and what happens is a donor is going to send a text to a phone number and either have a campaign code or a keyword where they'll text in this case Pongo to 801-801, and what happens is they receive a link where they can make their donation, right? So if you're in the middle of a service, of a campaign, of an event, a gala, it's a very easy way to put a number or say, hey, text this keyword to 801-801 or a phone number, and have your donor donate. The very nice thing about this text to give feature is your donor can donate again by simply by simply texting a word, and it'll ask you to confirm, hey, do you want to donate the same amount as you did the last time? Would you like to repeat this donation? Just simply reply confirm. So you click on confirm, the donor doesn't have to go through all those 3 steps of the donation form to repeat that donation. So like in my case, for example, whenever I attend service, I'd like to donate every week, but I don't have it set up on a recurring monthly or weekly interval. I like to do it myself. So if I were to initiate that, I can just, quickly just put yes and confirm the donation through text, and it'll just automatically do it without me having to enter all that information on the donation form. So this is just a really good way, a common bottleneck that I see, that we can help alleviate the donor's life whenever they make their donation. So we have 2 different plans for text to give. We have what's called the basic plan and the short code plan. Under the basic plan, you would text this 11-digit number, and it's $19 per month. And every campaign has its own campaign code. So you would text the campaign code, 345. You would text 345 to this phone number, and it works very well. But we also have this short code plan as well, which is a little bit more convenient for the donor. It's a 6-digit number, 801-801. And then you're able to assign a custom keyword for this campaign, and that is $50 per month. So you can say, donate to Palm Valley, text Palm Valley to 801-801, and it just makes the donor's life very easy, very memorable, and it's very easy to find. So, we do have those 2 text to give plans, which is really nice. So let's talk a little bit about engaging with your donors. So like Kara mentioned, it's super important. I think that's the number one thing that I see a lot of nonprofits not do enough of, is engaging with the donors. So if these people donate to your organization, they're already sold to your mission. They love what you do. They just want to be kept up to date on what's happening with the organization. How can we help? How can we volunteer? How can you engage with these people so that they can continue supporting your organization? So let's talk a little bit about engaging with your donors. So providing social proof. So Donorbox has a couple of cool things that you can implement for every campaign that you have. Number one is the donor wall. So a lot of times you can embed this donor wall separately from your donation form. This donor wall, people can leave comments. They can leave the amount they donated. They can not put the amount they donated, but just put a message like, good job, keep up the great work, or whatnot. And the way this social proof works is that many people will see the comments first on the donor wall, and then they will make their donation because they feel inspired and say, hey, we have all these people already donating to this campaign. It's a good campaign. I want to be a part of this campaign, which is really nice. Another thing that I see is that a lot of organizations do is utilize the power of the data that's available to you on Donorbox. So we provide donor profiles. One thing we also provide reports per campaign. Feel free to download one of the reports on one of your campaigns and look at the data and look at what's happening, for this specific campaign. What are people commenting? Are they leaving comments for this campaign? How can you engage with these donors? People make decisions every day based now on data. So utilize the data that's available to you on the dashboard in Donorbox to make better decisions on how to connect with these people via social media, direct mail, maybe sending them a postcard, sending them a personalized email like Kara mentioned. It's all about engagement, and it's super important to keep on engaging with your donors. So we also have a goal meter. So yesterday was Giving Tuesday. I received a lot of emails from nonprofits talking about, hey, I want to, we have a goal of $50,000 for the university or for the Red Cross or, for the church. We're trying to build this new satellite. We're trying to do a children's center. You can use this goal meter to your advantage and say, hey, we have a project. We're trying to raise $10,000, within the next 2 months to, purchase computers for the kids or purchase resources for, for the food pantry or whatnot. So make sure you use the goal meter and show that, hey, this is our goal and this is what we're trying to accomplish. And we need your help to be able to accomplish this goal. So, it's really easy to set up a goal meter under your campaign. You put a goal amount, and then you're also able to embed this goal meter separately. So maybe you want to put this goal meter on the main page of Donorbox. You can do so very, very easily. So if you don't know how to do that, feel free to email us at support@donorbox.org, and we can easily show you how to do that. We're more than happy to help you implement any of these technologies that you see here. So keeping your supporters in the loop, again, it's all about engagement. We have, a really nice tool feature where you can ask donors to subscribe to your mailing list. You can use our new crowdfunding page. So you're able to submit updates. So say you're running a campaign, you want to raise $10,000 for the food bank, and you want to keep your donors engaged on how close we're getting to this campaign goal. So with these new crowdfunding pages, you can submit updates. So it's, people that have donated and people that have subscribed, you can submit updates and say, hey, we've already raised 20% of our goal, 50% of our goal, 75% of our goal, 100% of our goal. And after that, you can keep them engaged and say, hey, this is where your money's going. We built this, we bought this. In fact, we actually need more help because, we're going to do phase 2 of the project. And, your support had really helped us fast track this project. If you don't know too much about our crowdfunding pages, whenever you create a campaign, it'll ask you to do crowdfunding page. I highly recommend that you play around and create a crowdfunding page so you can see how it works. And I know in our Donorbox blog and our Donorbox YouTube channel, we take a deeper dive in how crowdfunding pages work. So feel free to check that out. So thank you notes. So Donorbox, every campaign that you create, you have a receipt where it sends an instant thank you note to your donor, and it has all the information of the donation. You can make these tax compliant, and you can also customize and make it brandable to your campaign, to your nonprofit.
And I love that Donorbox offers so much customization on these automated thank yous. So you're collecting the giver's name and some information. So be sure to take the opportunity to use it to make that automated thank you more authentic and personal. So use a few sentences to show impact in that space you have available. And I'm going to give you a challenge to create a thank you note that doesn't necessarily start with thank you for the generous gift of. I want to encourage you to try something different. So because of you, more people will be warm this winter, or thank you for partnering with our organization to do God's work in this community. So get creative with that space. It's yours to use.
Yeah, I've seen some great receipts, where they, make them really nice. They'll even include like, the directors or a board member's signature or a picture or the logo, and, really make it tailored to the campaign and really, make it really nice. So, yeah. So harnessing the power of the crowd. That crowdfunding feature is a very good page that you can create, especially during this month of December. Goals are very, very, people like goals. People always want to say, hey, I lost like in my case, X amount of pounds or something like that, right? So, people love to meet a certain mark, like kids, like, hey, I want to get an A in class, or I want to do this. People love goals and they want to be able to reach something. So, these crowdfunding pages, like I mentioned, are very good for these end of the year appeals. So make sure you check them out. Jenna's going to talk a little bit about our YouTube channel, but we're going to share the link on right here on the chat right now in a bit about our crowdfunding features. So be sure to check that out as well. So to summarize, the main thing here is, how can we make giving as easy as possible? So, lessening the friction, lessening the bottlenecks. We want to, just make it, whenever you're thinking about your branding and how we can make the donor's life more seamless, just think about, hey, do we need to take all these, what are the least amount of steps we can take for the donor to make their donation? Using your tools to increase recurring donations. So, there's a lot of tools that you can do to send nice customized emails. I've even seen some really nice monthly campaigns that organizations will use. I've seen a really cool one that said, donate $1 a month. And that it was a food pantry in, like, I think it was in New Jersey. And what they did is they got like a ton of people, like I think 2,000 people to donate $1 a month, which is $2,000, which is amazing, recurring donations are super important. For mobile giving, utilize your QR code, text to give, make the donor's life easier, and engage with your donors. Like Kara mentioned, telling the story, connecting with them, sending them, personalized email, make sure you update them on a monthly basis, through your newsletter of, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what's going to happen next month. This is where your money's going towards. People want to feel that they're a part of this, of your mission. So, so I think that's it for me. I know we have some questions that we'd love to answer, and Jenna.
Okay. Thank you both so much for that presentation. I'm always learning from the team at Donorbox. I especially love this new way of thinking about giving for these faith-based organizations and ministries. Growing up, going to church, I never thought there was any way to give except for putting $1 in the basket and passing it along. And things have really progressed, especially in this new world of hybrid services and events, knowing that there are so many different ways to give. It's convenient for me as someone who donates regularly, and it just really opens up this opportunity for these organizations to connect with their donors in their community and capture that information and encourage generosity and build those relationships that I think is really exciting. So thank you so much for that. I think this is extremely timely at the end of the year, coming up on big services and big events. Kara, you wanted to prompt this question, so I'll let you take it away before I steal that from you. Kara, take it away.
Which question is that?
Plans for the year end, I believe.
Yeah, so I would love to know from each of you. So what are you excited about this giving season? So what are you wrestling with? And I'm going to be in the Donorbox Knowledge community after the call. Jenna will share the link to continue the conversation. So start thinking about what are you doing well that we can all learn from, and what obstacles are in your path that maybe we can all as a community help you overcome. So I want to know more about you, and I'll be there hanging out after.
Thank you so much, Kara. And now before we hop into Q&A, everybody hang tight with me. I want to launch one more poll, if you do not mind. Now, are you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Answer the poll here and see how I strategically labeled these answers. If you are not a subscriber, I'm going to go ahead and launch a link here so that you can stay up to date on all of our latest YouTube content, including all of our webinar recordings, inspirational spotlights of our organizations, tutorials on Donorbox tools, useful resources, pro tips for organizations. We even have a great YouTube video on easy tithing. So please subscribe, take a look at all of the content that we are creating. We are creating new content every single week. So make sure you hit that bell notification button so that you can stay up to date on all of the tools that we are offering you. So thank you so much for indulging my shameless plug. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and move over to Q&A. And I do see we have a few questions here. The first one, and this one will be for you, Jesse, is can Text to Give be used for just 1 month, for example, for certain campaigns only?
Yeah, the great thing about Text to Give is that you're able to enable it and disable it at per month. So it's real easy to turn on and turn off, and you'll only be charged for that month. So yeah, there's beautiful thing about Donorbox is there's no contracts with that or anything. So you can use it for your campaign and turn it off once you're done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this. And we have a question from Carol, and I believe we already answered it, but I would love to dive deeper into this. And reference to not asking for a complete address, how do you send people a thank you or confirmation of their donation? So I know we touched on this already, but Jesse, would you mind going into a little bit more detail about our thank you notes?
Yeah. So for every donation a donor completes online, we always will collect the first name, last name, and email of that donor. So so once that donor clicks on donate, they'll receive an emailed thank you note receipt. If your process, I do know some organizations prefer, or they also send a mail piece. They want to send them a nice letter. Of course, collect the address. I mean, if it's something that's part of your process, for sure do it. But we do help you and take care of that through email. Also, I know a lot of organizations, faith-based organizations, receive checks and they receive cash donations. You're also able to enter those in Donorbox as an offline donation. And you're also able to download the receipt via PDF. So if you want to do like a PDF and when you print it out and send it to them via mail, you're always more than welcome to do that as well. Yeah.
This question is about our QR codes. Would they be appropriate to use on social media? Have you seen that done before?
For sure. Yeah, I've seen QR codes used, but keep in mind that if people are a lot of people on social media are using their mobile device. So it's like you would probably need another phone to take the picture. Or I'm not sure if you can. I don't think you can do you know, Jenna, if you can take like a QR code within your own form with your own phone? Like if I'm looking at a QR code with my phone,
yes,
could you scan it? I don't know if that could be done.
I don't know. That's a great question. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to take a screenshot and see if I can't get it to bring me somewhere. That is a very good question, and we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. What I see on social media, though, is they'll use a URL. So say, hey, this is a story. This is how you can help. And they'll include, of course, the URL to take them straight to the donation form. Or you can use that text to give. So text, Palm Valley, text 801 to, Palm Valley to 801. And, that's another cool way to get that donation in. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And this question here from Bakes, is it possible to just ask for the city, state, and country instead of the complete address?
Yeah, definitely. So you can, so Donorbox allows you to ask custom questions. So whenever you're building your campaign, there's a section called custom questions. So you can have a custom question that says city, state, zip, or country, whatever it may be. And the donor can enter that information. So yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm scrolling through our chat here to make sure I haven't missed any questions. I believe we got them all. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and drop our support email in the chat as well. I thought I had included it on this slide. Sorry about that. So if you have any questions at all, maybe I'm a little biased here, but we have a world-class customer success team. They get back to you in a snap. Really, really helpful there. So just drop us a line at support@donorbox.org, and we are more than happy to help you navigate the ins and outs of your Donorbox tools and tips and tricks for your year-end fundraising. We'll give it just one more minute, see if we have any more questions coming in. And while we are waiting, I want to remind everybody that this webinar was being recorded. You will receive the link to the recording and the slide deck via email tomorrow. You will also be redirected to the Donorbox Knowledge Community after this webinar, and that's where Kara and Jesse will be hanging out, waiting for your questions regarding all things year-end giving. So please connect with us there. We are more than happy to help you end your year with a bang and start the new year off with as much generosity as possible. So let's see here. One more question from Francisco. Perfect timing, Francisco. Can I receive donations from a credit card if Stripe is not available in my country?
Okay, so, I see here not having a PayPal account. So PayPal would be the other way. Do you have PayPal, Francisco? Or don't have PayPal? You do have PayPal. Okay. So yeah, you can use that new PayPal where it says under the debit or credit card, the donor can enter, they can use their card there with that through PayPal. Through PayPal, they can use their debit or credit card. But Stripe is it's the other. Okay, yeah. So yeah, good. So not all of your audience has PayPal. Okay, so yeah. So PayPal actually has like a guest, so you don't have to have a PayPal account to pay through PayPal. So if they don't have a PayPal account, it'll give them the option to pay as a guest. It should give you the option to pay as a guest with a debit or credit card.
Thank you so much for that. And again, Francisco, if you have any questions regarding your payment methods, yes. I just dropped the link in the chat again. You can email us at support@donorbox.org, and we're more than happy to make sure that you're set up to receive those payments.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries that are not supported by Stripe right now. I know Stripe is always supporting new countries, but I know there's some particular countries that there's no Stripe. So a lot of orgs use PayPal, and people still pay with their debit and credit cards all the time. So it's a good workaround. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, I believe we have made it to the end. Everyone, I want to thank you again for joining us today for this Donorbox webinar, and hope that you're feeling inspired and ready to use all the tools that we have to offer you. And on behalf of everyone here at Donorbox, I want to thank you for all that you do to serve your community. So thank you again, and we're going to close out, and you'll be redirected to the Donorbox Knowledge Community to connect with Kara and Jesse. And Kara and Jesse, thank you so much, for your time today.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.